Good afternoon, pupils. I hope that all of you are doing well. Welcome again in our normal session. And we have to proceed today with the topic which I introduced a few days ago. And our today's concern is about fraction of a set. Before proceeding with our discussion, we have to make brief revision of the lesson we have discussed the last time. I remember that last time we were discussing about 2/3 of a whole thing as well as 1/4 or 1/4 of a whole thing. And I said that 2/3 of a whole thing means that maybe you have a whole thing and divide it into 3 equal parts, whereby 2 parts out of those 3 removed or shaded. So those 2 shaded parts stand for 2/3 or 2/3. And writing 2/3 in figures, you have to write like this, 2/3. Means that this 2 here is numerator and this 3 here is denominator. Denominator means total number of equal divided parts, and these 2 here stand for the shaded parts or the parts removed from a whole thing. And I decided to draw something like this. Then I divide it into 3 equal parts. The first part and the second part as well as the third part. Then out of these 1, 2, 3 parts, I decided to shade 2 parts. Whereby in a real thing is that these parts are no longer here. So we have to shade 2 parts. So if someone asks you the fraction of the shaded parts, it's where now you have to tell him or her that the fraction is 2/3. Why 2/3? Means that out of 3 equal parts, 2 parts are shaded or omitted. Apart from that, also, we discussed about a quarter. And I said that a quarter in figure you have to write 1/4 in figure, but in words you have to write 1/4. 1/4. Or another name of 1/4 is also known as 1/4. Whereby maybe you have a bar of chocolate like this one. Then you're supposed to divide it into 4 equal parts. 4 equal parts. So we have the first part, the second part, as well as the third and the fourth part. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of these 4 parts, maybe you decide to shade 1 part, or you decide to remove 1 part if we are talking about a real thing. So the fraction will be 1/4. Means that out of 4 parts, only 1 part is shaded or only 1 part is removed or omitted. Now, our today's concern is all about fraction of a set. Means that you might be given a certain fraction and someone asks you maybe how many fractions like that we have in a certain number. For instance, someone can ask you one example. Maybe you are given 1/2 of 4 equals to dash. Means that you have to ask yourself, if we have 4 items, maybe it might be bananas, or they might be apples, or oranges. So if someone asks you, if you have those 4 oranges, how many halves do we have there? How many halves do we have there? So what you are supposed to do is, in doing this kind of questions, you have to draw balls according to this number. That is our first step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thereafter, you have to ask yourself, how many groups of 2 do we have in 4? That is, you have to create groups of 2 in 4. So we have 1, 2. This is the first group. This is the first group. And we still have other oranges or other apples. That is 1, 2. So this is another group. So how many groups do we have? So we have the first group and the second group. Thereafter, another step you have to ask yourself, if we have only one group of 2 equals to what? 2. So where are we supposed to write that 2? In the given gap, like this one. So how many 1 over 2 do we have in 4? So the answer will be 2. Are we together? Okay. Another example, someone might ask you, 1/3 of 6. 1/3 of 6 equals to dash. You have to follow the same procedure. Asking yourself, maybe these ones are oranges or biscuits or chocolates. Now you have to draw, but according to me, I decided to choose that these stand for balls. Now, not only balls, sometimes might be apples. Then I have to draw those apples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the first step. The second step, you have to create groups of 3. Why groups of 3 means that this one, as I already explained before, that this 3 here, that is the bottom number standing for denominator, means that equal divided parts. Equal divided parts. Now we have to check those equal divided parts. How many do we have in 6? Now, we have 1, 2, 3. The first group. Then 1, 2, 3. The second group. So this is the first, this is the second. So the answer will be 2. But don't pray. Sometimes they might change the number. Don't pray that they will ask you about 6. Others, they might ask you about 12 or sometimes 15. So you have to understand which number are you supposed to deal with. So what will be the answer then? Means that you have the first group and the second group. So how many 1 do we have in 2? How many 1 do we have in 2? Maybe this is our 2 here. How many groups of 1 do we have here? Means that we have the first one and we have the second one. When you plus this, you get what? 2. That 2 is what you are supposed to write here. So the answer will be 2. Are we together? Okay. Another example, that is example number 3. Again, someone might ask you, third, how many third do we have in maybe 12? Okay. 1 over 3 of 12. 1 over 3 of 12, or 1/3 of 12. Have to follow the same step or procedures. That is to draw balls according to this number here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have about 12 items. Out of these 12 items, how many groups of denominator? These 3, that is our denominator. How many equal parts do we have here? That is 1, 2, 3 as the first group. So we are creating the groups of 3 out of 12. 1, 2, 3. Another group. 1, 2, 3. Another group. 1, 2, 3. Another group. So how many groups do we have? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how many 1 do we have in 4? So you might draw balls like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then ask yourself, how many 1s do we have? So we have one group, the first group of 1, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. So the answer will be the same. That is 4. So where are we supposed to write the 4? We have to write number 4 here. So the answer will be 4. Another example, maybe someone might ask you, 1 over 4 or 1/4 of 1/4 of 8 equals to dash. You remember what you were supposed to do there? you have to ask yourself, how many items do you have? So you have to draw those counters depend on the number of items given. So the number of items presented by this number here. So you have to draw items depend on the number given, that is 8. So you have to draw like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the first step. The second step, you have to create groups of the bottom number. That is what we call denominator. How many equal parts do we have in these 8 items? These 8 items have how many equal parts? So, the first group, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the first group. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. The second group. So we have group number 1 and group number 2. Now, how many 1 do we have in 2? You can even write 2 like this, then create the groups of 1s, either by writing 1 as it is. The first group of 1 here, the second group of 1. When you add these 2 groups of 1s, you will get 2. So 2 is what you're supposed to write here. Another fraction, or another example, that is example number 5. What if you are given 1 over 4 again, then 1 over 4 of 16. 1 over 4 of 16. Means that you have about 16 items, then you're supposed to know how many total numbers of those items as the given fraction you are given there. That is, you have to draw balls according to this number here. This means these are the number of items. Might be sweets, they might be chocolates, or sometimes might be bananas and other things. So we have to draw 16 items. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So these are standing for the items which we are talking about, that is represented by this number here. Thereafter, you have to create groups of 4. How many 4 do we have in these 16 groups? That is the first 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the first group. First group. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another group, that is the second group. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another group of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last group. So we have how many groups? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you have to ask yourself, how many 1, remember that here we are talking about numerator. How many 1 do we have in 4? So you have to draw either sticks. Sometimes, don't forget that you can even use only this kind of counters. Sometimes you might draw even sticks. Maybe I have to draw about 4 sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many groups of 1s do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer will be the same. That is 1 over 4 of 16 is equals to 4. Are we together? Hope so. Now, the last example, number 6. Maybe someone asks you, 1 over 6 of 12 equals to dash. This 12 here represents number of items. Depends on the items given. They might be fruits or sometimes might be sweets and other items. So you have to draw counters depending on the items, the number of items given. So here I decided to use sticks. Maybe I have to use sticks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, these are the numbers of items. We have to create the groups according to the denominator, that is, total number of equal divided parts. How many equal divided parts do we have here? So we have to create groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be termed as first group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the second group. So we have 1, 2. The third step, which you're supposed to ask yourself, how many 1 do we have in 2? The answer will be the same. That is 2. We have 2 groups of 1 in 2. Now, I hope that all of you already understand. I have to give you a few questions so that you can prove that what we have discussed here, you really understand. Remember that the more you practice, the more you understand. So make sure that you do all the questions given so that you can consolidate what you have learned. Now, so I have to give you a few questions. Exercise. Exercise. Question number 1. 1 over 2 of 12 equals to dash. Question number 2. 1 over 3 or a third of 15 equals to dash. Question number 3. 1 over 4 of 12 equals to dash. Number 4. 1 over 5 or 1 over 5 of 10 equals to dash. So these are some of questions which you are supposed to answer them. Starting with question number 1, you have to identify 1 over 2 of 12. Remember that you have to know those steps. The first step, you have to identify those items. The numbers of items, that is this, represented by this number here. You have to draw items according to the given number, that is 12. Thereafter, second step, you have to create groups of 2 found within 12. Thereafter, ask yourself, how many ones do we have in such kind of group? Thereafter, you write the correct answer in the provided space. And the same applies to question number 2. 1 over 3 of 15. Remember that 15 is the number of items, or stands for the number of items. Then you have to draw counters according to this number. Thereafter, create groups of denominator, that is total divided parts. After getting that total divided parts, then ask yourself, how many ones do you have in those total divided parts? Then you write the correct answer in this space here. As well as the last question, that is 1/5 of 10. Draw counters according to 10. Thereafter, create groups of 5. After that, you have to create a group of 1. Then you write the correct answer here. Make sure that your answer, your work is neat. And make sure that you skip one line after doing one question. So after one question, if you want to move to another question, you have to skip at least one line. Make sure that your work is neat. Remember that fraction has importance even in our daily life. Means that helps you to understand how to divide things equally. Thank you, and I hope that you will join me in another lesson. Have a good time.